Hey, thanks again for sending in questions related to our recent sermons. This summer, we're hearing from each one of our elders and some of our staff how God has worked in their lives and the difference that it has made, how it is very similar to how God worked throughout Scripture. This last week, we heard from one of our elders his experiences with service and the difference that it has made in his own life. And so the question comes in this week, why throughout the Bible is there such an emphasis on others, other people, in contrast to maybe how we could think about religion sometimes of it being just a vertical dynamic, between us and God? Like, why isn't it, I need to do the right thing. I need to, follow the commandments. I need to have time with God. I need to worship God. I need to just be ethical. Why is there also this horizontal dimension of us serving others? Why does God command this? And it's a great observation question because it really links into the nature of God himself, the nature of how God made the entire universe, how he made us to work. God in himself is others-centered. The Father glorifies the Son and the Spirit. The Son glorifies the Father and the Spirit glorifies the Father and the Son. Each one of them is outward focused to the other two. And that is how God has made us. We're in his image. We're going to be happiest. Life is going to go best when we're not inward focused, but when we're outward focused, right? Jesus himself, of course, says, Matthew 20, he didn't come to be served, but he came rather to serve others. Jesus is outward focused to those around him. And to the extent that we are in alignment with the nature of God himself, in the nature of how God made the universe, that is what is going to lead to the most peace and satisfaction for us. It will feel like work, because we still carry sin in us. We still want to be terribly selfish. We want everything to be about us. We want to take care of number one first. And so we battle against that. But to the extent that we can focus outward, it will lead to much more peace, happiness, joy in our lives, which is what Mark, our elder, was saying that he has experienced in his life. I would say, in my life, the clearest way that I have seen this work out is just in being a parent. When you first have a kid, it is all about the kid. There are times when you really don't have the energy to serve your child anymore, when the child is an infant and you feel like you can't possibly do one more thing today, but there's 5 more things you have to do for the kid. Or the kid will suffer greatly. The kid's totally dependent on you. And so you force yourself to do them. You just force yourself to do what needs to be done for this other person. And it feels like work. It feels, tremendously hard. But at the end of all that, what develops is a love for your children that is really not comparable to any other love that we experience, and the reason that is because it is such an unselfish love. You're not thinking about you at all when you're pouring yourself out day after day after day for your kid. And then what develops is this great relationship. And so God's plan, if none of us had any sin in us at all, is that we would all be pouring ourselves out for everyone around us like that. And of course, they would all be pouring out themselves for us and the others around us. And can you imagine the type of world that would be, where everyone experiences the love between themselves, as we often experience with our children? That's the benefit of how God designed the world to be, and that's how one day, of course, the world will be when he comes back and restores all things, and we have perfect relationships with each other and we have perfect relationship with Him, not thinking of ourselves at all. So we're working toward that. Thanks for the question. And service is a step toward the most glorious way that we can possibly live.